Hello there, everybody. How y'all doing? Good evening. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday evening. Let's start getting some people in here. All right. First, let me do my sound check right quick. You have to forgive me for the brief feedback you're going to hear. Wednesday evening. So now we're looking good and sounding good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we're going to open up another window. How's everybody doing? Give me some shout outs in the chat. Go ahead and get the likes up. Likes or dislikes. I'm not really sure. As long as it's engagement. We're going to be going through a few things. All right. Going over a few things. I want to talk about the Zeitgeist. The Zeitgeist. What is Zeit? Zeit is time. And the Zeitgeist. Ghost. Ghost. All right. The Geist is the ghost. This is a German term. Zeitgeist, the time ghost. It's the ghost that continues to go through time. Right? No matter how long things go, it's a ghost that continues to pass. In other words, it's the illusions, right? These are the illusions that we deal with, and we call them life. Okay? And yes, let me switch my Twitter account right quick. Okay. Wow, it automatically put me in not bad, not bad. Nice people. Okay, where are we? Disconnect from the Zeitgeist. Okay, we're giving people a chance to come in, so don't mind the funky beat. All right. Disconnect from the Zeitgeist. First, I'm going to give you guys an explanation of what the Zeitgeist is. Okay. All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. So let's see. That's my New Orleans drawl, my New Orleans vernacular. Yes, indeed. So before you can disconnect from the Zeitgeist, you must first know what the Zeitgeist is, right? You must first know what the Zeitgeist is. So let me go ahead and I'm trying to get this on the LinkedIn, but for some reason LinkedIn is not working for me this evening. So that's good. We'll wait. Got to get some people in here. All right. Share it. Share the video. Get some likes up. All right, thank you for joining. Say something in the chat so that I know you're here, okay? I like to know that you're here. I like to know everybody is here, okay? So I'm going to do a little bit of reading. As you guys know, I'm in the middle of writing a book, okay? And that book is called Black American Party. Yes, I am writing a book exploring the concept of a Black American political party. And here today, right now, I'm talking about the Zeitgeist. the American Zeitgeist. Now, we're going to talk about the American Zeitgeist today, and I'm probably going to talk about the Black American Zeitgeist tomorrow or some other day. But I just want to go over this, okay? You know, to say that the United States of America is unique in the world is an understatement. We are geographically located perfectly between the North and South in a region that enables us to produce much more food than we could possibly consume. We are safely located between two oceans. Well, let me kind of drop this funky beat down a little bit. I know it's funky and it sounds really good, but I want you guys to hear what I'm saying. All right? I want you guys to hear what I'm reading here. All right? Do a sound check. Just make sure that it's still bumping subtly in the background and it's nice and mellow. Hold on one second. Sound check. Just make sure that it's still bumping. Now we're gonna come up just a little bit. I don't want it to be obnoxious in you guys' face, but we're gonna come up a little bit. All right. Where are we going? We're going somewhere like there. Yeah. We're going to bump it up to minus 30, minus 25, minus 30. All right. So listen, I'm going to continue reading this, and I'm not just going to read it. I'm going to read it and discuss what I mean. We're going to take breaks, right? We are safely located between two oceans with friendly neighbors to the north and south. Christopher Columbus was the first European to introduce this land to the European peoples. It has been well established that there was not only a presence of the peoples we call Native Americans, but there was also a significant population of the people of African descent here before the arrival of Columbus. In fact, Columbus himself referred to the natives that he found as the Negros. He didn't say the red men. He didn't say the Mongol-looking people. He said Negros. It has also been said that there were black people on the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria, as well as on the Mayflower. But regardless of if these quote-unquote facts are true, it is understood by all that America isn't America without black people, irrespective of the history of slavery. Black Americans were part of America since its beginning and even before then. My personal ancestors, black ancestors here in the Americas, I'm a descendant of Jacques-Antoine Le Borgne, and my mother is a Barnes. I am also a Barnes because my mother's a Barnes. And so I am a New Orleans Barnes. I am a member of the infamous Barnes family in New Orleans. And we are large and many and popular and powerful and beautiful in the city of New Orleans. I don't know if this was an improvement in my light or if it made me look more mysterious, more ominous. Let me do this. I don't want you guys to, I'm not, I like Kevin Samuels, but I'm not Kevin Samuels. I'm not going to sit here in the dark and make you look at me in the dark with a white t-shirt on. You like my shirt? Money calls, baby. Money calls. That's right. Yes, money calls. She got the cash in hand. Okay, so let me go ahead on and turn this on for y'all. Yeah. How about a little soft light for your boy? All right. Well, that's kind of, The brightness on this side makes it look really dark on the other side, and it's still dramatic. Doom, doom. It's still a dramatic look, but I guess it's a little bit better than before. I could balance it out with a little something, but I don't want to overblow the light in the background. All of the lights that are in this room are behind me, so it's going to be, it's going to be a little dramatic and harsh no matter what you do. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing fine. Excuse me 1 second. I just want to look up a couple of things. All right. Oh, damn. Okay, well, enough of that. So yes, sorry, my lighting definitely looks dramatic, right? All right, so let me continue. Let me continue where we are. So as I was saying, we already understand the history of the United States and the struggles that we have gone through as black people in America. The original race conflict in America was our struggle against slavery, oppression, and white supremacy. It was a simple black and white issue. There we go. Pipe that up, pump that up a little bit. That'll give me a little contrast. Yeah. All right. The American Zeitgeist is a set of paradigms that define American ethnocentricity. It is a set of commonly held beliefs, assumptions, slogans, and values that help define the American character. The American Zeitgeist is full of hypocrisy. It is a reflection of what America cannot face about herself and the source of much ridicule by people outside of the United States. In my opinion, much of this ridicule is deserved. It contains all of the unspoken horrors of our society, its racial hierarchy and caste system, the hypocrisy of how our society fails at truly being a meritocracy. Its most recent additions, tension and conflict between the sexes, Me Too, snowflakes, and cancel culture, reveal the manufactured zeitgeist for what it is. Okay? Yeah, I said it. The manufactured zeitgeist. But the American zeitgeist exists, and it is quite powerful. It is most influential upon people who have little to no exposure to cultures and societies outside of the United States, which is unfortunately most Americans. This is because although every country and culture has its own zeitgeist, they are all slightly different depending upon the wishes of the oligarchs that dominate each society. But by being exposed to the different cultures, watching local television, talking to people, and absorbing the zeitgeist where you're visiting, one can see how they differ from our own and thus understand the invalidity of both. They're invalid. All zeitgeists are invalid. Anything that can be reduced to perceptual reality is part of the zeitgeist, and it's all bullshit. Okay? I'm just telling you straight up. This is a philosophical exercise in distinguishing the metaphysically given from the man-made. This exercise will become important again in future chapters of my book. Americans accept a lot of man-made constructs into the American zeitgeist and accept them as real, even as real as the metaphysically given. Since Americans are first world people who have access to the best the world has to offer of most things, they tend not to be too stupid. To control the American public's zeitgeist requires a thorough manipulation of mainstream news, television, radio, new media and social media, print, and all communications media. But most importantly, it requires what I call consensus of authority.
My mom's here.
Wonderful, man. Here's my son Kai. You guys should watch him on his channel. Okay.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, son. Mwah.
Thanks.
Have fun. Eat a big dinner, get some sleep, and I will see you. Spaghetti. All right. Then we're going to do another detox tomorrow for you. Good night, man. Love you. Parenting is so much fun. I love my son. I hope you guys can forgive the music next door because it's bullshit. To control, okay, let's go back half a paragraph. To control the American public's zeitgeist requires a thorough manipulation of mainstream news, television, radio, new and social media, print, and all communications media. But, most importantly, it requires what I call consensus of authority. Consensus of authority occurs when all of the so-called experts, Dr. Fauci, or authorities in science, finance, medicine, ecology, security, resources, sociology, etc., just so happen to share the same opinion about a particular topic. Global warming. At the time of this writing, consensus of authority is being used to stretch the American zeitgeist into a global zeitgeist. Consensus of authority is also being used to oppress the global population with panics of global warming, pandemics, staged riots, and worse. For me, to list and describe all of the paradigms of unreality that go into the American zeitgeist would probably require another book entirely. Fixing a little typo. The same is true for the Black American zeitgeist, except the book would probably be much thicker than the book for the American zeitgeist. The Black American zeitgeist contains more bullshit still because it contains the bullshit of the American zeitgeist, and then all of the myths that are part of the Black American zeitgeist, like the big switch and all the rest of that bullshit, or the lady getting stabbed during the recording of Ohio Players roller coaster, and that's where the scream came from. I mean, believe me, there's a lot of bullshit that's part of the Black American zeitgeist. We'll get to that in another video. But we're going to go over the American zeitgeist, okay? The fallacious paradigms that are found within the American zeitgeist. Number one, that the United States of America is a white country, okay? It's that fallacy in the American zeitgeist that has led the monsters to conflate patriotism with racism, patriotism with bigotry, and nothing could be farther from the truth. It's not. They're not connected, okay? Number two, Black Americans are not real Americans. That's completely bullshit. The first man to die for the United States was Crispus Attucks, a black man, and Black Americans have fought in every war of this country. What the globalists fear is black men actually taking ownership of this country as patriots. They're trying to keep us divided from white patriots by saying that white patriots are white supremacists, which is just bullshit. Again. Number three, white Americans are entitled to success in America, regardless of intelligence, talent, effort, or ability. That is a part of the American zeitgeist that's actually defended. It's not the most smart white Americans, or Americans that are not people of color, and I hate even using that term, people of color, which is also bullshit. But most Americans who are considered within the specter of being called white, being considered white, understand that America doesn't owe you success and that you must work for it. That paradigm is probably upheld more by people of color than it is by people not of color. I'm just being real with you. Number four, the presumption of white people and culture is the standard of normal. Now, perhaps there was a time when that was more true than it is today. Multiculturalism has been being pushed for a long time. But as long as multiculturalism has been pushed, the black culture, black American culture, has been consistently and deliberately denigrated. And that's what you see right now with gangster rap. The results of this is what you see in the gangster rap phenomenon. Okay? So I don't believe in the crap about multiculturalism from the left because it does not pay respect to foundational black American culture. And of course, I obviously don't buy into the fallacious presumption of white culture as the standard of normal. Number 5, infantilization, fetishization, and objectification of black people, as well as all people of color. I call this the 007 syndrome, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I personally have traveled to many countries, and I have enjoyed dating women in different countries and different cultures. So I don't want to be a hypocrite here. But what I'm talking about in this particular part of the piece of the zeitgeist is, like I said, the infantilization, fetishization, and objectification of black people, as well as all people of color, the 007 syndrome. All right. 007 is there to kill all the men and screw all the women and all of the exotic races of the world and enjoy all of these flavors and races of women, much the way a person would enjoy flavors of chocolates in a box of chocolates. That the planet is this British spy's playground upon which to enjoy the world and enjoy the sexual comforts of all of the various ethnicities and colors of women. Okay, that's part of the zeitgeist, and it's bullshit. And actually, people, it is my belief that lust is going to cure the world of racism, because no matter what, there is a sexy, effable woman or man occupying every race on the planet. And it is in that sexual attraction and desire that we recognize our humanity and we may embrace each other. Number 6, and this is my fave, okay, this is my pet peeve: Hollywood negative stereotyping, which is the most powerful contributor to the American zeitgeist. Okay? The stereotyping of black culture. This is something that I just discussed earlier when I was talking about the fetishization, right? And the crapping on our culture in the first place. This is real. Okay? This is real. And, you know, like I said, I'm not here to say it must stop, because I don't believe, I'm saying it's real in that it's really a part of the zeitgeist. I'm not saying that, it must stop or nothing. No, because it stops when you recognize that it doesn't hold any reality in and of itself. Okay. 7, the presumption that black children and adults are somehow tougher. This perceived toughness enables white people or all other non-black people to presume that specifically black children can be raised in single-parent homes with no negative consequences. That's pretty insulting. That's pretty insulting that only the black American family has been defined as fatherless. And yeah, that's just ridiculous. We're not going to go with that. Construction, number 8. Construction and maintenance of an imaginary paradigm in the minds of non-black people that of an America, either historically or in the present, without black people. Now, I see this on Seinfeld, and I see this on, there's Friends. Friends was another show that, for some reason, just, tried to create a reality within which they ignore the fact that Caucasians or something or whatever. I mean, they were not Caucasian specifically, but it was set in New York City and there weren't any black people. And I don't know, man, I've been to New York. There's a lot of black people there. Okay. The presumption, 9, the recent attempts to criminalize every aspect of masculinity is a thinly veiled cover-up for the criminalization of being a black man. Within the American zeitgeist, black male masculinity is seen as dangerous and volatile. This gives rise to the Karen phenomenon, right? I can call you and I have a power to bring down injustice upon you simply because I am taking advantage of the fact that we live in an unfair society, and that allows me a power to play the victim. Very, very evil. Very, very evil act to play a victim, okay, and to try to bring down the potential of a racist cop confrontation upon you simply through a false accusation. And, you know, as we go deeper into the Me Too thing, and as we go deeper into the whole hypersensitive bullshit that is part and parcel of the what do you want to call that, of the postmodernist melange of crap that the Frankfurt School has been feeding the teachers of our children to pump into the ears of our children to make them snowflakes, right? Back in participation trophy elementary school. It's taking its effect, okay? The zeitgeist is more powerful than ever because these poor innocent children, well, they're not innocent now, but they were innocent when they were raised and fed this crap, okay? So this is the ambitious ideations of individuals who are literally seriously trying to destroy our society. I mean, I can't really deny that. That's a fact. All right. 10, a college education or being considered an educated person is not for foundational black people. That's an assumption in the zeitgeist, which I don't even have to tell you that that's bullshit. And 11, high-paying jobs in the technology sector are for immigrants. Now, why is that? I want you to put some thought into that. This is a country that gave the world the internet. This is the country that probably has a higher percentage of its citizens that can afford computers than any other country. Why do we absolutely have to import tech talent? That doesn't make sense. And I'm not making an anti-immigration statement. I don't care. I mean, and I don't understand why it is part and parcel of life in America that you must assume that that immigration is a necessary component of our nation, right? It's kind of like, you know, the Keynesian economics, presuming that inflation is an absolutely necessary part of our economy. Well, we're in the Keynesian economy, so yes, inflation is necessary, but runaway immigration is not. I'm not afraid to say that our country is being deliberately destroyed right in front of our face, because it is. Okay, it is. It's nothing that we can say about that. That's not true. All right. These are only a few of the presumptions one makes when growing up in the United States. I have experienced many uncomfortable situations where I might meet Americans while traveling abroad. If I happen to be talking to citizens of the host country, it is interesting to see how uncomfortable Americans are to encounter a black American who operates outside of the American zeitgeist. As of this writing, I have lived and worked in over 30 countries. After so many trips abroad, the American zeitgeist simply drops from your consciousness. No one returns from a trip as the same person who left. Your scope of understanding grows so wide that you can more easily distinguish between the metaphysically given and the man-made. And the product of continuous propaganda is what the man-made is. The zeitgeist, the bullshit. You take the red pill and you're able to see the matrix clearly. In other words, you're able to see the American Zeitgeist as crap for what it is. The American Zeitgeist breaks down into regions as well. The Zeitgeist in the Deep South has a much greater sense of abject hostility and distance between the races. Interface with, obsequiousness that would make even the most accommodationist black person cringe, right? And illegal, undocumented, right? Illegal immigrants interface with white Americans with an obsequiousness, right? An obsedence, all right? Obsedence is what the word I'm looking for. That would make even the most accommodationist Uncle Tom, so to speak, black American cringe, right? So just wanted to get that out there and to let people know that the zeitgeist is real. It is a real term, and it's something that we should talk about. It's something that we should mention. We should mention it by name, okay? The zeitgeist, the American zeitgeist, all right? Because, like I said, it's being fortified deliberately. It's being fortified in a very, very, very powerful way, okay? And not to hang dirty laundry, but if we're going to talk about the zeitgeist, the American zeitgeist, then we should talk about the black American zeitgeist. The black American zeitgeist has been studied extensively by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the CIA, and many private institutions. It is the powerful mindset of being black. Adherence to and harmony with the black American zeitgeist comprises what we call being down with your people. Okay? Let me do a mic check, make sure my mic is still powerful, because I don't want to talk to people who are not listening. Okay, yeah, okay. All right. Deliberate violation of the code of behavior prescribed within the black American zeitgeist puts a black person at risk of being labeled a sellout, a coon, or an Uncle Tom, or a Sambo, which would be a little bit more accurate. If you read the story Uncle Tom's Cabin, Uncle Tom was actually a good person. He was actually a good character. He had soul and he had character. It was Sambo that was the sellout. This label would, of course, come with the presumed loss of your black card or ghetto pass. You get your ghetto pass pulled, right, by violating the black American zeitgeist. With the accompanying right to, and you also lose the accompanying right to consider oneself a real black person ever again. Okay. But for my non-black listeners, it's not quite as bad as it appears. I love living within the black American zeitgeist by choice. I can function within the Spanish, Russian, Japanese, Caribbean, and Latin American societies quite effectively. However, I love the sense of community and family I find living within black society, foundational black American society. It is a club of the most loving and accepting people on the planet Earth. And at the same time, the black American zeitgeist is something that you are either inside of or outside of, and never the twain shall meet. Old school black Americans still understand that it is only black American proper etiquette to give the nod of acknowledgement whenever we encounter another black person. Not another person of color, not another person from the African diaspora, not a tether, okay? Not necessarily, but a real black American, right? Foundational black American, as Tariq Nasheed likes to call us. But real black Americans still know to give the nod to every black stranger you encounter on the street. This subtle yet enduring cultural artifact distinguishes black Americans from all other Americans and from all other black people in the world. This is one of the strange peculiarities about being a black American that is the source of so much intrigue and envy among other races. Of course, along with the nod comes our distinctive style of handshaking, the dap. It's got to make the noise too, right? Imitated by every race and culture in the world, from our cultural heyday in the 1960s and 70s, when Black Americans proudly wore the natural Afro hairstyles, the Black handshake is a powerful aspect of Black American culture, especially among men. Now it has simply become the style of shaking hands for every guy in America that wants to consider himself cool. This brings me to Ebonics. Black American culture is American culture. As a capitalist society, the American economy relies on the use of slang to sell products and services. American English is dynamic, unlike the English of our friends across the pond, which is static. Black Americans have always been the most prolific contributors to every aspect of American culture, especially language. Almost all of the idioms, expressions, and slang used in American English have their roots in popular Black culture and music. A 5-minute long song can repeat a phrase like "light my fire" many times, and by singing the song, the American public adapts the phrase into common vernacular. With the advent of rap music, the linguistic contributions of Black America to American English exploded. One 5-minute rap song can theoretically introduce hundreds of new slang phrases into the American English lexicon. Seeing this coming catastrophe, the all-knowing cultural guards of academia decided to further marginalize Black Americans from the American cultural landscape by creating the separate linguistic category and language called Ebonics. I call bullshit. There is no Ebonics. There is only American English, of which Black Americans are the most prolific authors. One cannot discuss the Black American zeitgeist without discussing our foods. Our culinary contributions to America are undeniable. Not only Creole food, but what is called soul food. But our unique dietary preferences and quirks are part of what make us who we are. We know why our people love grape drink, strawberry soda, and Kool-Aid. We know when and how to use hot sauce. Every real Black American is a chef in his or her own right. When it comes to culture, I believe we have to safeguard against having our culture judged by the standards of any other culture, regardless of how much influence any race or culture has over our society. They cannot redefine reality for us. Black Americans have a culture that is centuries old. The traditions have been passed orally from generation to generation. We are in touch with nature as natural human beings. Although we tend to be religious people, we don't need religious doctrine to tell us right from wrong. It is an innate thing in Black Americans, even though we too often choose to ignore it. So, no matter how much anyone mentions ridiculous postmodernist ideas like everything we're learning lately about gender or the redefining of a fetus or embryo as not human, follow the science. Follow the science. Conception is the beginning of human life. Follow the science. But I digress. Deep inside, Black people know better. We know better. You can convince some of us to pretend to buy into these constructs, but we all know better. Black Americans understand that heteronormalcy is just normalcy. A marriage is between a man and at least one woman. There is a Black male honor code, which has given rise to the gang culture and the Black guerrilla family in the prison culture, or of our warrior class, right? This code not only encompasses the principle of no snitching, but an expectation of heart, having balls, having heart, being fearless for young Black men, that is uncompromising. The Black American community remains sucker-free. There is a spirit of ingenuity and creativity among Black Americans that is unmatched by any culture or race in the world. The Black American spirit of engineering, craftsmanship, and inventiveness have given rise to the term nigger rig, right? You heard that term. Although the main character in the MacGyver television show, of course, was a Caucasian, his claim to fame was nigger rigging. The Black American is a natural-born entrepreneur. We call it being a hustler. Black Americans know how to grind and how to find creative ways to make money. And how to find creative ways to grind more effectively. We can distribute any product against the most adverse conditions. We are natural conservatives because we like to conduct our affairs without the interference of the police or any other extension of government. Minimum control, minimum regulation, minimum taxes. Definitely within the Black American zeitgeist is charisma. Black people, Black men especially, are known for being very charismatic. We are passionate. We are a passionate and colorful people who enjoy the many flavors of life. Our charisma also makes us excellent entrepreneurs at any level. There is a powerful sense of stoicism within the Black community. This is probably due to the many struggles we have endured and the necessity to work our way out of problematic situations. Our work ethic was definitely well earned. It is unbelievable how we have been saddled with a stereotype of laziness when we were brought here to do the work for others. This stoicism has led to our obvious excellence in sports and entertainment and other industries and fields. These are just some of the positive aspects of the Black American zeitgeist. As I stated before, within the American zeitgeist, there is enough information for its own book. I may actually write a book about the Black American zeitgeist in the near future. The Black American zeitgeist has many negative and self-destructive aspects as well. Among the less positive beliefs and paradigms supported within the Black American zeitgeist are: 1. Our world is no bigger than the United States. Most Black Americans still spend their entire lives without ever obtaining a passport. We're the society that is the largest, has the greatest population of people who have never left the United States. That their history began with slavery. Such a big lie. Such a big lie. Okay? I would probably venture to say the majority of Black Americans' roots did not begin with slavery, even on this continent. Okay? They built into the American zeitgeist myth of some historical or ideal America without Black people. That's kind of hard to understand. Number 4, they hold many self-limiting beliefs, robbing themselves of any sense of self-efficacy. Yes, they do. Number 5, here's the big one: anti-intellectualism. Being smart is still not cool in the Black American zeitgeist, and that's fucked up, for no other way to explain it. 6, mental health stigma. It appears to still be true that Black Americans would rather kill each other than seek mental health services. 7, lower moral expectations. For some reason, the phenomenon we call Black male privilege has a much looser moral requirement than for other men. This is a major contributor to the long-standing celebration of ignorance that we call gangster rap culture, which is really co-opted and thrust upon us by others, and we know that. 8, there is an ugly sense of cynicism, pessimism, and yes, nihilism that masks itself as wisdom in the Black American zeitgeist. Most aptly described as the phenomenon of knowing that fat meat is greasy, don't you know? Perhaps this may be the result of number 9, presently high rate of fatherlessness in Black American homes. But many young Black males seem to have a propensity towards seeking paternalistic relationships with whites, especially authority figures, especially cops. That is very annoying. This is especially true for white authority figures and police officers, as I just said. That's very, very annoying. 10. An ever-present sense of victimization and grievance, which only presents a belief in one's own inferiority to his alleged oppressor. Black Americans empower white supremacy much more than any white supremacist possibly could through the Black American Zeitgeist. Number 11, intensity of emotion has equal or higher status to reason. Think about that, people. Intensity of emotion has an equal or higher status than reason. Number 12, and the final one for this reading, a very powerful sense of Black American groupthink. Democrats. A hive mentality, even if the group is thinking something stupid, like Biden is a better choice for president than Trump. An outsider with the ability to script into Black American groupthink can and does wield control over our entire political presence. You know who you are. You know who I'm talking about. The most powerful influencer of the Black American zeitgeist is Black American music culture. As of this writing, the American music industry moguls and their puppet masters are using Black American popular music to recycle the social ills that plague Black American society into future generations by pumping toxic gangster rap music and culture into the ears and eyes of our children. Although we buy into the belief that this is market driven and that the record labels only make the music because there are people willing to buy it, this is defamation. More than defamation, this is cultural violence. This is a deliberate, pernicious, psychic oppression of Black Americans via our own culture. How can Black Americans allow this to continue? How can Black Americans, the only people in the world whose culture is allowed to be hijacked so thoroughly towards such destructive and nefarious ends? The Black American Party is committed to putting a permanent end to this cultural Pied Piper who leads our children directly into the penitentiary and the graveyard. I want to thank you guys for listening to that, because you can have a chance to purchase my book, Black American Party, okay? And you'll be able to read all about the American Zeitgeist and the Black American Zeitgeist and different things. You know, I really wasn't going to talk about the book. I wasn't going to really talk about Black American Party because, well, basically, I just wanted to talk about the Zeitgeist. About Black America. But there's really no way to not connect the two, right? So, yeah, pardon my very hot camera, right? You know, if you guys want to call in, I can open up the phones, but I'm actually not, because I'm working on the Gateway Experience, which is out-of-body training. I'm working on, I'm listening to the Monroe Institute audio files, and I'm learning the Gateway Experience, right? So let me make sure you guys get a word from our sponsor, right? And yes, I understand the Gateway Experience is some Twilight Zone shit. I get it. But yes, I am using the Monroe Institute binaural beat audio files in order to train myself to become a remote viewer, which means to instigate an out-of-body experience at will, to initiate an out-of-body experience at will, and to do it repeatedly, okay? And not only to be able to elevate my consciousness past my body, but also be able to transcend into other energy realms. other energy systems, at least to observe. So I just want to thank you guys. Before we go, I want to give you a word from our sponsor.
Gold label quality BiomedRx CBD oil is made from organic hemp that is locally grown, glyphosate-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, homogenized, third-party tested, and CO2 extracted. Visit www.biomedrxcbd.com.
Yes, and of course, you can always not only purchase CBD oil at BiomedRxCBD.com, you can also purchase vitamins. We have a good group of really potent multivitamins, multiminerals, designed for all people in all levels of life, men and especially women.
BiomedRx Optimum Woman is the only woman's high-potency, full-spectrum multiple vitamin supplement to contain 56 nutrients, including those most important for today's woman, such as calcium for bone health, iron for healthy red blood cells, beta-carotene, biotin for nail and hair health, gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil, phytosanol, grapeseed extract, a potent antioxidant important for maintaining capillary strength, and vegetarian digestive enzymes. Visit www.biomedrxsupplements.com.
Wow. I added those moans. Sorry about that. So, hasta la vista, baby. I will see you guys on the downstroke. Like I said,
Hasta la vista, baby.
hasta la vista, baby. That's right. Hasta la vista. Okay. I want you guys, as always, to stay kind, stay blessed, and stay healthy. And thank you for watching. Thank you for learning. And I will see you guys later. Thank you.